Okay, so I've started a fresh recording. So, Avi, do you want to? I don't know how you want to approach it. You want to talk about Mike Israetel, though. So why don't you just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead?
I'll just well, yeah. You've asked me
I'm
to
just going
talk
to be
about it, so
quiet unless you
uh,
actually prompt me with something here. So I'll just treat it like you're giving a lecture, but you can ask me if you want my input or anything.
yeah. No, no, no. You're free to give your input. So basically, so I watched the initial video by Solomon, and then I watched Mike Israel's response video, and then uh, where I was at the time was that uh, I was mostly in line with the rebuttal video because, and the main reason for which was because I was under the impression that, or at least what was claimed, was that the the PhD thesis, which was being criticized, was a draft version, and the final version was most of those errors were corrected, and that was really the biggest issue with with Solomon's breakdown at the time, I thought. But then it's revealed that actually, which seems really sketchy, and we'll get into that. That actually, no, Solomon actually had the correct version. So with that in mind, given given that that defense is off the table because he actually did have the correct version, the biggest issue for me was not the spelling mistakes, not the grammatical errors, not the formatting issues, references, citations, like those things happen. And yeah, some happen more than others, and some are more lazy than others, and it's more annoying. Yeah, but it's not like that's an F, like that's failure. That's failure. If the science is good. The issue is the science wasn't good. And the specific reason for that, above all else, for me, was that, well, if we're back to the original, if we're saying that that draft version was actually the correct version, then we have all these impossible figures that are back in the tables. Uh, Now, maybe that was like a formatting issue, maybe it's not, but that can't pass though. That has to go back for correction. That's the problem. Like, so I don't. I'm okay with. I would be okay with passing a thesis that has typos. Like, I'm not saying like, okay, you violated the rules of spelling and grammar. Like, okay, whatever, not like that. That's just normal. But if you have multiple across multiple tables, just numbers that make absolutely no sense and can't be right, then yeah, that's got to go back. That's got to be sent back. Which is, I mean, it's a real shame because I actually agree with a lot of the other points that were made in the response video, which is that the other criticisms like lack of originality and stuff, those kind of put a PhD thesis to a higher bar than what it really is. So the way and I agree with the analogy of like a driver's license. So like a PhD is like basically like a driver's license to a scientist. So it's not that you're when you get a driver's license, you're not going to be like a groundbreaking driver, nor are you going to do anything that's going to further our knowledge of driving to any like groundbreaking degree. It's just a sort of check to see like, do you meet the bare minimum requirements to drive on the road? Similarly, for a scientist, a PhD thesis, I mean, it's great if you can do it, but the expectation is not that you're going to do this like groundbreaking work and it's going to really thrust science forward and it's going to be this amazing thing, this novel thing you found. Like, that's not really where the bar is. The bar is just, do you have the bare minimum of what it takes to be a scientist who can independently do research? So, with that in mind, I actually don't think I would have even uh, I wouldn't have failed the PhD thesis on the basis of lack of originality, uh, especially if there was a debate at the time about what we, the question at hand. So you can make a case that it's not groundbreaking, but it was an incremental movement that contributed somewhat meaningfully, even though if not great in magnitude, to the advancement of science. So that's broadly what I have to say in terms of the thesis. The reason it fails, on my view, is because you can't have mathematical impossibility or like physical impossibility in your scientific work. You have that, you're done. Go back, fix it. The reason it fails is not because of lack of originality. The reason it fails is not because of the grammar issues, the typos, the incorrect citations. That's not the reason it fails. So that's what I have to say about the thesis itself. And then what I'll have to say about Mike is, I don't know, man, this looks kind of sketchy because the guys came out with a video saying like, all right, you got it wrong. It's the wrong version. It's not the correct version you were looking at. And then came out later, it says, oh, you actually were looking at the correct version. Now that's really weird because now it looks like you had a polished version, which is not the version you defended. Instead, you defended like this draft that had a whole bunch more mistakes that was also dated later than your polished version. So, like, did you add errors? And then, why was it dated later? Why was the non-polished version dated later? And why did it look like it was stitched together with a PDF of the signatures that couldn't be edited? And then why was the metadata showing company, like a publishing company or a media company, as the owner? So, I mean, it looks like, I'm not saying this is what happened, but it's suspicious that after this video dropped, there was some attempt to nefariously polish up the work and try to present it as if that was the work. Not saying that that's what was done, but it looks suspicious for that. So, someone's saying there's even more updates now.
I'll drag that onto
okay,
the
this is actually
screen
perfect
so that
timing.
you can see
Yeah.
it or something. Or I'll just post it in the
I'll
chat.
read it right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, just for the recording.
So Mike
post it in the
Israetel
chat.
says, so this is from Mike. Yeah, I'll read it right now. So this is from Mike Israetel. He just posted this, looks like. YouTuber Solomon Nelson made a critique video of my officially posted dissertation. Dissertation was 1/3 of my PhD classwork, and athlete coaching being the other 2/3 combined. This is a big deal. Number 2, I had no intention of responding because A, I wasn't going to doubt that my 12-year-old dissertation had plenty of errors, sounded on brand for me. B, Solomon has a long history of making hate content about me, and I almost never respond to bad critiques. I've made plenty of those myself, and I don't expect folks to respond to them. As Coach Scred said, it's all WWE. Okay. Dr. Mylan Wolf reached out to me. As a response video, his channel asked me to send over my dissertation. I sent him multiple files because I legitimately didn't know which one was the right file after 12 years. I told Milo I wasn't sure which file was which. 4, upon looking over the files, Milo found one file that he suspected, due to very different formatting, larger page length, and tracked corrections, was actually the closer one to the final version. Was actually closer to the final version of the dissertation. He included that file in our video response and linked it as well with my permission. I was on that vid, and we both claimed that Solomon was, through no fault of his own, likely critiquing a less than updated dissertation. I did not double check to see how the files compared before Milo posted them. This is 100% on me and on me alone. This was in no part deception and in every part pure negligence by me. Big mistake, very sloppy second Mike is actually an old high school nickname of mine. A few days later, I dove into the files and realized the version of the dissertation Milo posted was actually an even older version than the one Solomon critiqued. The file used in Milo's response video was not only an older version, but had way different formatting and content than the official dissertation Solomon reviewed. Because I had zero intent of obfuscating the truth, I asked Milo to amend and correct the video description, which he did, and I posted the clarification on my Instagram. Just this morning, my doctoral advisor sent me the latest version of my committee review dissertation from 2023 that he was able to find in his email. I didn't have this version in my files when all of this happened, but it does have most of the stats corrected. So it appears as if not only was the dissertation that's currently in the university portal the incorrect version because I uploaded the wrong file 12 years ago, 100% my fault. But my initial assumption per the Milo vid that this other file might be the more correct file was also wrong. That's 2 mistakes. So now he's going back and saying, oh, it was the wrong version. At no point during any of this process did I retroactively edit the dissertation copy Solomon critiqued and try to claim that it was an older copy. I have every single file in a Dropbox in the caption in my stories for full transparency. Files in my Google Drive, the latest correctly attributed document featured in the video of Miles' channel, the 2013 committee return document emailed to me earlier, the same by my advisor, the 2013 grad school submission document, the one I sent to grad school. As far as I can tell, the 2015 corrected document I created yesterday, taking into account most of Solomon's helpful edits. If the grad school requires it, this will form the basis of a re-upload to the archives, a spreadsheet with all the tables in it. I reacted too quickly to this and should have taken time to double-check everything before responding. That's what caused the big mix-up. At no point did I or intentionally obfuscate the truth of this matter. As I never want to do anything to cut you guys the real deal, my apologies to everyone so poorly mishandling it. Milo, Pack, all the others who backed me in good faith have zero blame in this, and I have 100% blame in this. Okay, so now it seems like he's going back again and saying, okay, well, actually, it was the wrong version that he critiqued, and now the school advisor has gotten back to me and sent me the right version. Well, maybe that's true. Maybe we're going back and forth. But if that's the case, then I guess release a statement from the university or his advisor, or like the university should just upload on their own, like not with Mike, like the correct version, and just have a like statement or whatever. And if that it really is the truth, then well, my view changes back again. Then it's like, okay, well, the dissertation would pass if that didn't have the errors that would made me say it didn't pass. All right, that's where I am now. Okay, I don't know if anyone else has anything to say.
You want to? Yeah, I mean, maybe just after all that, because it was only 12 minutes. That felt a lot longer. You want to just give the high-level bullet point summary in closing?
That was a high-level bullet point summary.
Oh no, 12 minutes is not a high-level bullet point summary. That's like it's like
all right.
20
so long
seconds.
story short, there's a whole critique. The worst part of the critique was mathematically impossible or physically impossible numbers. First, Mike said that it wasn't the right version that he critiqued. Then he said it was the right version, and now we're back to saying it wasn't the right version. If that's true, great. PhD thesis passes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Not because of the grammar errors, the typos, or whatever, but because of the mathematical issues, and also not because of originality, because that's not the right bar for a PhD thesis. It doesn't have to be the most original thing ever at all. That's basically where it is, and that's about as succinct as I can put it. I don't know how
that's a high level summary. That one was yeah. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop the recording there. I'll send it to you if you want to put it on your channel or anything.